Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Varen, and I use she, they, they pronouns, and I am so excited for today's video. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate you, and let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be a reading wrap-up. It is the end of the month, and I like to tell you about the books that I finished this month. I managed to read 5 books this month, and I'm going to tell you all about them in this video. Before we begin, I'm going to tell you about my social media. I have a TikTok where I post fun videos, an Instagram where I post fun pics, I have a Twitter where I post fun retweets, a Goodreads where I post fun book reviews, and a Pinterest where I post fun boards, all linked in the description box below. If you want to give me a follow, thank you in advance. And now, let's begin today's video. So the first book I finished in April was The Invitation by Leeland. And it is about a perfume maker crashing a wedding, and he finds out that she is not who she says she is at the wedding and is very upset about it, and she is trying to start her perfume business and ends up befriending his sister, and they own a company that invests in smaller companies, and their relationship kind of builds off of that. I gave this book 3 stars because while it was nice and the plot twist at the end kind of made it nice, because I just finished reading The Spark by Leeland, it felt not really repetitive, but kind of in the sense of like they had the same kind of thing happen where they weren't really ready for a relationship, and they had parent issues, and there's a kid involved. Like the pieces of the story kind of felt the same, and between the two of them, The Spark was my favorite, but this book was still enjoyable. The second book I finished was The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. It is about a violinist who reaches YouTube fame and becomes overwhelmed by it and has to try to overcome that. And her boyfriend decides that he wants an open relationship, so she decides to have one-night stands because he's going to be doing it as well, and fails miserably repeatedly with the same guy, and ends up catching feelings for him and decides to pursue a relationship with him. During this time, she finds out she's autistic and has some family issues pop up and has to deal with autistic burnout and falls in love. That is the short version of this book. But I really love this book. I really related to Anna and her struggles, and I really liked how understanding Kwan was and the mother at the end of it. And I just wanted the best for Anna, and I loved that we get to see autistic people falling in love, and I love the way it was written. I loved this book. I resonated with Anna's experiences so heavily, and I loved seeing an autistic author write about autistic people falling in love. And I read back at the end of the book where the author talks about how even though this was fiction, it was a kind of her story, or the experiences that Anna went through, she went through, and just knowing that just made it even more special. I did cry several times. I teared up while reading this book, and at the end I did cry twice. I just really loved that it was such a happy ending and that she was able to come out through everything she went through, and yeah, it was really nice. I loved it. 5 stars. So the third book I finished in April was Wicked Night by Tracy Lorraine. The Trigger warning is going to be in the description because it does get dark. It is a dark romance, it is a mafia romance, and it is a high school bully romance. And if those are your jam, then this is probably right up your alley. It is about a girl who arrives into town and kind of shakes up the social structure. She meets the love interest the day before she starts school, and he kind of likes her, but finds out who her father is and immediately begins to hate her and decides that he is going to ruin her because of what her father did to his father. And I loved every minute of it. I started reading bully romances in 2020, and it's such an interesting genre that I am fascinated with, and it is enemies to lovers to the max, I would say, like extreme enemies to lovers, especially this one, especially because Tracy Lorraine says it's her darkest bully romance to date. It is very fascinating, and I loved it. 4.5 stars. So the fourth book I finished in April was Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. It is about Norse mythology. It's has little mini stories within the book about what happened in stories of what happened the Norse gods kind of did. It's not really something I can just like describe what happened in the book. So many things happen in the book because it's many different books. Interesting story that I remember is the story of Loki's children, and I almost cried. I was like, oh my god, and then the ending and the way Ragnarok happened, I kind of feel like stemmed from that, but that's just me personally. I don't know. But I almost cried reading this, that part. But it was very interesting. I wanted to get into Norse mythology ever since, we have them here. Not Loki. Hiccup and Astrid. We have them right here. Because of How to Train Your Dragon, it's in that area, and in the TV show they kind of mentioned the Norse gods and wanting to learn more about them, and this was a nice read to kind of like start learning more about Norse mythology, and so I liked it. So the fifth book I finished in April was Neon Gods by Katee Roberts. I have read 3 Hades and Persephone retellings so far, and it is my favorite one. 5 stars. It is about humans, but the gods' names are like positions in government. Hades controls the lower city, and Zeus and the other 10 or 11, I don't remember, control the upper city. And Persephone is engaged to Zeus, and she finds out very suddenly. She didn't even know about it and doesn't want to go through with it because of what happened to his previous wives, known as Hera. And because she doesn't want to marry him, she kind of runs away and into the arms of Hades. And Hades has had a lot of issues with Zeus before because of his father and mother, and wants to get revenge on him, and she wants to be free, so they hatch a plan to kind of prevent her from having to marry Zeus. And it was great. I loved it so much. I want to read all of Katee's books after reading this one, so if you haven't read it already, check it out. So, different location, same me. I have to refilm this because I deleted it, and I have to, because it's supposed to be uploaded very soon. Now, we have Fake Marrying the Billionaire by Elizabeth Lynx. This is the last book I finished in April. New tablet. But yeah, so in this book, he has to marry in order to get his inheritance from his grandfather. And he marries an autistic woman who meets the requirements. He has to marry a 20-year-old virgin and stay married for 2 months in order to get his inheritance. And he finds her while he was in jail, which is an interesting story. Just fun to read it. I definitely not enthusiastically recommend, but it's a nice read. Not too long of a book as well. Yeah, I do have a few criticisms for the book, which is just the way the autistic character is written. Now, I'm not sure if the author is autistic or not, so I can't make that decision based on that. But the way it was written seemed very stereotypical, and not the way I know autism to be represented, being that I am autistic. So that was just my thing. I some things that she said didn't really seem like an autistic person would say that, but that's just my personal opinion. I also, another thing that was kind of weird was she doesn't like cranberry sauce, but decides that she's going to make cranberry sauce, even though she doesn't like a taste of it, and wasn't going to taste it before giving it to other people to taste. And I don't know if autistic people do that, but I wouldn't make something that I myself wasn't going to eat or wouldn't be able to taste it as I'm going along. That's just me personally, those things. But overall, I did enjoy the relationship because her family and people around her treated her as a child, and though she was autistic, she found out she was autistic very young, I would say. She is an adult now, and they were still treating her as a child, and she did talk about that to her sisters, and they were like, we didn't mean to do that, we were just looking out for you and stuff. And she's like, well, I'm an adult and I can do things on my own and stuff like that, and kind of touched on the infantilization of autistic people, which I did like about this book. And so overall, I give it 3 stars. Something I had to come to terms with is that I am not going to be reading as many books as I would like, or that I have done in previous years. I, in previous years, was able to read 110 books, 85 books, when I kept track of books, which has been since 2020. This year, I'm changing my goal, 50. I'm going to change it to 50 on my Goodreads, and I already changed it to 50 on my tablet, on my Kindle. I'm changing it to 30, so 30 ebooks since I like reading them more, and 20 physical books. And if I end up reading more, cool, but my goal is going to be 50. I'm going to also leave it at 50 and then surpass it, just so I can see how much I've grown and if I actually meet my original goal. And that's what I'm going to do, because it's okay not to you meet your goal as previous years. They're goals, they're not mandatory. They're kind of like, it'd be cool if you finish this, but if you don't, cool. And as long as there's an actual reward for finishing all these books, like there was when I was in high school, there's no rewards. So because there's no rewards, it's okay. You can just lower it. And so that's what I'm doing. And if you need that reminder, here it is. You don't have to finish as many books. Now, I originally had to tell myself this because I saw one of my favorite YouTubers talking about how they have read 50 books already this year, and I was like, 50? I'm struggling here. And so because I saw that, I was like, oh man, I'm really failing at this. I'm supposed to be like, I love reading. Why am I not reading as much? And then I had to wait. All doing different things. We all have different goals. We have different reading speeds, different interests and all these other things. And it's okay. We're all on different journeys. You don't have to finish as many books as other people. And so, yeah, I have to just tell myself that. And if you need to hear it as well, here you go. And I also have other things. I started a YouTube channel. I mean, I really got into it this year. I started it, I think, last year, but I started a YouTube channel. It takes up time. I'm helping my sister with homework and learning how to read. It takes up time. I'm also doing a lot more cooking than I think I did a lot of cooking before, but I'm doing a lot of that as well. So it takes up time. I also doing more TikTok. I'm doing TikToks now. I wanted to do TikToks for a year before I actually started doing TikToks, but I'm doing TikToks now, and that takes up time. And so all of my time is being equally dispersed. And so because it's being equally dispersed between social media, taking in content, and doing other things outside of making content and stuff, my reading is dwindling. It's not as going to be as much. I'm also reading way more books than at one time than I have in the last previous years. Previous years, I've read one, like the last 2 years, I've read one book at a time. And before that, I was reading like 3 or 4 books at a time. I had a whole stack, and it was called hoarding books. But yeah, I have all, because of that, I'm also reading a lot less, or finishing books a lot slower. So I'm reading a lot less. So yeah, I also did my hair during this month, and as you can tell, it's different. If you haven't seen my other videos, my hair's different. And I'm doing a video, it's going to be uploaded on Friday, of me doing my hair. And if you want to check it out, just subscribe and bell notifications so you're notified when it comes out. But yeah, I dyed my hair, and so after that, dyeing my hair, usually don't want to do anything else after that for a while, because get burnt out. Doing my hair takes a lot of energy out of me. I do it for an entire day. It was like 8 hours of doing my hair to get it to this. And so because of that, reading, back burner. So yeah, I also got a new tablet this week. So I've been playing on that. My other tablet started acting up, and I was getting frustrated with it, and my sister was like, that's what I'll get you for your birthday. And so her and my mom kind of chipped in and got me a new tablet, and I love that. I really appreciate that. And so yeah, I got a new tablet, and if you could just see the differences in sizes. This is my old tablet. Got it in 2018 for Christmas. It is a 2016 Tab A, right? And so got that one. And then this is the new tablet, same brand. This is like the same like line. This is the Tab A8, the Tab A. Huge difference. I got the smaller size because I could put it in my bag and walk around with it. I'm going to be using this for other purposes after I finish the library books on here. But yeah, I've been playing with my new tablet and getting old games that I had before that I had to delete because of space on my older tablet. So yeah, I've been playing on it, and I really like it. It's also pink, which we all know is my favorite color. So yeah, that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up if you like, subscribe if you want to. Again, hit the bell notification so you're notified when I upload. Try to upload twice a week. And until next time, drink some water, eat a snack, play with a fidget toy, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!